All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I know it's been a while, so let me get this out the way. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's Juju the Game here on Juju's Anime Corner. And man, I know it's been a while. My life's been hectic for the last month, moving wise. So yeah, I'm no longer in the basement. I'm no longer making videos in a basement or on my parents' living room. I'm now on my own, and it's a kind of weird but relaxing feeling just to have a place I can call home for myself. So I moved. All the background and stuff is, it's plain for now, but in the coming months it's going to be filled up with anime and sports stuff because that's who I am as a person. So, as you all know, King of Fighters 15 dropped. Game is fire. The only 2D game I ever played was Mortal Kombat and Injustice. I played 3 2D fighters. Mortal Kombat, Fighters, Dragon Ball Fighters, and Injustice. Those are my only experiences with 2D fighters. Street Fighter 6 just got announced. So the fighting game community is going on strong in terms of 2D. Now, that has me thinking, if we're getting all these 2D games, where in the ever-loving hell is Tekken 8? Where is Tekken 8? Where is DOA 7? Actually, this is what we're going to be talking about. So, I would say back in December, or at least last couple months, there was an article, a translation that came out that the producer of Virtua Fighter said that his team at Sega was monitoring the interest level of Virtua Fighter esports. Virtua Fighter Ultimate Showdown, that was the purpose of that game. That's why it released free. It was a business tactic to see if there was any interest in the game in terms of from the community. And they determined that Sony tried to tell them, said, yo, this might be bigger than y'all think. And they didn't believe them until they looked at the numbers, they looked at the data that people were actively supporting this game. So, man, the fighting game community, we did it. They said, while it might not be coming out for a couple of years, Virtua Fighter 6 is at least hinted at, or it's a possibility that Sega is going to be doing a Virtua Fighter 6 or a whole new installment. So we're gonna hit my intro. We're gonna talk about what I wish to see in a Virtua Fighter 6. Let's get it. All right. Now, hopefully I got this playing in the background so y'all can tell. I know me personally, it's been a while since I played VL, but this is probably one of the biggest things I want to see in order for this game to reach the potential that I know it has. First things first, since fighting games are moving away from the arcades due to COVID and the pandemic, it only stressed that importance. One of the reasons why I actually stopped playing Virtua Fighter is that Ultimate Showdown was that every time I went into a ranked match, I was either facing off against somebody in Brazil, China, South Africa, all that to say is that the net code in every game I started playing, and this happened match after match after match after match after match, was that I would just come across so much lag with the only other opponent could do, which is button mash, and it was just bad. And this is coming from somebody that has loved Virtua Fighter, that has grew up loving Virtua Fighter as its premier fighting game. So if that's one of the things that can be improved upon, this just not goes for Virtua Fighter. This goes for DOA and Tekken, all three big 3D fighters, well, including Soul Calibur, all of them need to improve their netcode because we're going away from arcades. So, in order to play worldwide against, people when we're not able to link up in person, it has to have a good netcode. It has to have a good netcode. So that's probably the biggest issue. So, yeah, it's probably the biggest issue. Second, they need to have some sort of offline content. Sometimes when I wanted to play Ultimate Showdown coming off of work, where I used to work at, I used to work the graveyard shift. So I would come home at like 5, 6 in the morning, and the only people that's really up, well, not in America, the only people that's really up are the players from Japan, China, Korea. Like, and like I said, this kind of goes hand in hand with the netcode issues. I always be getting matches where it was just lag all game, and it just wasn't feeling good. So there has to be some sort of offline content. Give us back Kumite. Give us back Evolution's Quest mode. But instead of making just the arcades around Japan, make it across the entire world. Because that's how big the virtual fighting community is. It's global. Give us something for offline content. Give us something for offline content. It just doesn't have to be all online. Because, Tekken has, their treasure belt that's basically is Kumite. If we're being honest, that's Kumite for Virtua Fighter 4. DOA has, not camera focus, DOA has, mission where they have specific missions that you gotta do each character, and they scale in difficulty from easy to very hard. So something offline content has to be done so players can get used to their character, different characters in different situations. This also goes kind of hand in hand with, see if I can get this up on the screen here, but this was in DOA. This is in DOA. This is in Fighters. This is in Guilty Gear Strive. This is in KOF 15. Not so much Tekken, which is surprising to me. But the developers would have these combos generated from easy to they scale in difficulty. So it would teach you about the character, what the character can do in certain situations, and I feel like that would be such a great thing for Virtua Fighter to have, especially for newcomers to the game, so that they can get used to different characters and different combos, see how it works, with the different weight types. And I know some people that this is all offline. It's just one huge section on offline. The next thing I want to see is customization. Virtual Fighter started, this is a fact, started customization in 3D fighter games with the Kumite and Virtual Fighter Evo, where you have item matches, and every time you would rank up, you get a different item plus a different color with your outfit. And you know what? That worked. You know what? That was... Oh my god. Even after all this time, I still forget to do that. I'm not editing this out either. That's just gold. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, customization. So even with Evo, when you went from arcade to arcade, and you would do like different missions, how many times you evaded, how many times you did a combo, how many times you beat a certain character, and every time you would do so many quests in an arcade, you would get an arcade with a star, and if you complete that, you get an item from that arcade. Whether it would be like Leon would get a helmet, Jackie would get a different hairstyle, Jeffrey would get the he would get like the devil's skull, or or as I like to call it, Ichigo's hollow skull. So each character would get something different based on their customization. And even though Tekken Tekken got inspired by this. That treasure battle, you earn items, you earn fight points, you can customize your character. Where do you think they got that from? They got that from Virtua Fighter's Kumite. That's what started all of this. DOA's customization coming from Virtua Fighter is just not good. It's just not good. So that was one of the issues I had with Ultimate Showdown, was that we went from Virtua Fighter 5 with having the four different outfits. You could customize them to your heart's content. Well, actually that was kind of limited too. But coming from Evo to Virtua Fighter 5, the base game, that was different. So coming from Virtua Fighter 5 to Final Showdown, what I'm saying, where you have the full arcade customization that they had in the arcades at that time, where you went from one outfit, like when you went from 4 different outfits in 5 to 6. It was type A through E plus type S, which was fully customizable. You had a set number of points, like in Ultimate Showdown, where you could customize, and it was just amazing to see what the community could come up with, and it was just amazing. So I really hope to see them go back to their way and really buff the customization. One thing I did love that Ultimate Showdown did in this game was bring in the soundtrack from the other Virtua Fighter games. You know, for me, I grew up on Virtua Fighter 4 and E. So for me personally, every time I played Ultimate Showdown, those are the 2 games soundtracks that I put on, because those are the 2 games that meant the most to me out of Virtua Fighter. Now, one thing I hope to see them do is add in DLC from the other games. So add in more costumes, add in their classic costume, add in customization. So I feel like that was a missed opportunity, because the game is free. I'm going to repeat that the game was free if you had PlayStation Plus. So what I was hoping they would learn from what DOA did in last round and just charge costumes. Just charge customization. You know how much money DOA made? DOA made so much money off that they basically went insane doing that. They lost their mind doing that. But yeah, that's one thing I really want to see, is the customization get vastly improved. Another thing I want them to improve upon is the art style and the animation. That's the one thing I give DOA a lot of credit for. Their animation, the way their characters look, are really well done, even if they sometimes go to ridiculous slang with the jiggle physics. But just seeing Jackie, Akira, Kai, and Sarah in DOA was just like, whoa, they look really good in this game. I wonder if Virtua Fighter can do that, and to have the Yakuza team doing that, I felt like this was a good first attempt, saying that they didn't have much dev time, but giving them a full cycle to really nail down their animation, I feel like that will improve a lot. So, and you know, another thing, I have no set list, but this is just another thing I want them to improve upon. If they really want this game to be more casual friendly, to simplify certain things, and it hurts saying this. It really hurts saying this coming from Virtua Fighter, but I feel like they need to do some sort of comeback mechanic. That's just not all putting out a max damage combo. And I know it hurts me too saying this, but with DOA, I know I'm referencing DOA a lot because DOA, believe it or not, was also inspired by Virtua Fighter. So much so they used one of their old engines and just built upon it. But what DOA 5 did with their stun mechanic and their what was it called? Their climax art, their rage art. What they did with that kind of actually blew me away, because it was like, whoa, it's not nothing too cheesy. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing too insane. And it also, you have to be at a certain health to do this. Kind of like what Tekken does with their rage art and their rage combo and their rage art. So I feel like that's one way to opened the door to that stigma of Virtua Fighter being a hard game to learn, and it's not. It's not. It's just like any other fighting game. You play online, you might get whooped by somebody that's been playing non-stop for a couple of years, and you just get better. If you want to win, you're going to get better and improve at the game. But yeah, that's one thing. It hurts saying that. It hurts saying, but that's one way I feel like you'll open the door for more people. You know, some sort of comeback mechanic. Cause you know that it's the flashiness of it. Like Virtua Fighter has to have something flashy. You know what I'm saying? It has to have something that'll really reel in opposing, you know, people that swear by Tekken and say they'll never touch a Virtua Fighter. You gotta have something to at least get them to say, you know what, I'll try it. I'll try it. I'll give it a shot. That's what I do with Tekken. I see something cool come out, a cool DLC character, I might re-download Tekken, might get the DLC, I'll give it a try. So, and this is one thing actually I really do hope to see them do. And once again, please put away the pitchforks and the torches, my fellow Virtua Fighter fans, and just hear me out on this. Guest characters, hear me out. Saying it doesn't matter. Virtua Fighter should never have guest characters. Virtua Fighter were guest characters for DOA. That's what drew me into DOA, because I had never heard of that fighting game franchise before until that game dropped and I saw a trailer at E3 and it had Akira, Jackie, Sarah, Pi, and I was just like, oh, wait a second, what is happening here? Because by that time, Tekken and Street Fighter had already had their game. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, Virtua Fighter is changing? They're actually doing something different? They're actually going to be guest characters for once? So if you want to bring in more 3D fighting fans, you go ask Bandai. Ask them to bring in Heihachi, bring in Jin, bring in Kazu. And you go into Team Ninja, have them bring in Kasumi, Ryu Hayabusa. Me personally, I hope they bring in Kokoro, because she and Akira were a fantastic tag team duo in last round, in our DOA 5 last round. But you know, bring in guest character, bring in these other fighting game franchises that Virtua Fighter inspired, and bring them over to Virtua Fighter, and let's see if their fans can handle the real. Let's just see. You know, it's exciting. Let's just see how these characters would act in Virtua Fighter. Let's just see. Let's just test the waters. So, you know, bring in. You know, I haven't played Shenmue, but I heard Shenmue's also inspired by Virtua Fighter. Bring him in. So, I know that's not the popular statements, but bringing in guest characters and bringing fans of different fighting games that might be put off to Virtua Fighters, you know, Virtua Fighters gameplay-wise, gameplay style, like, hey, my favorite character from Tekken is in this game. Let me try him out on Virtua Fighter. But hey, my favorite character from such and such is in this game. Let me try him out. So, because, just look at it. DOA has had King of Fighter characters in their game. Tekken has had King of Fighters. They had Final Fantasy. They had Soul Calibur. Actually, have a Soul Calibur character? Wait, isn't that Yoshimitsu? Yeah, so somehow Yoshimitsu's in 2 different games. So, and I know I'm kind of just spitballing here, but I don't know, man. Just take these with a grain of salt and an open mind, and just think of how Virtua Fighter can be expanded upon to a more casual fan. How do we bring people into what we think is the greatest fighting game of all time You know, how do we bring people into this series and keep them there and keep them playing and keep these tournaments going? Because I've been watching. I haven't really been able to play, but I've been watching. I'm still loving to see the high level gameplay that Virtua Fighter brings. It still does something to my heart. It still does something to my heart when I see a great match between two different players in a fierce competitive match on Virtua Fighter. So some of my wish list for a potential Virtua Fighter 6, once again, is a much better netcode. A much better netcode. If Sega and Virtua Fighter really want to open the door, kick the door down by putting some sort of rollback or some sort of advanced technology into the netcode to where there's no delay, where I could play somebody in, where I could fight somebody in China or Japan and there will be no issues. Be the first 3D fighting game to do that. Be the first 3D fighting game to do that. So, number 2, bring back the offline game mode. Bring back quest mode. Bring back Kumite. Have some sort of, Virtua Fighter always comes with a tutorial, so that's already in there. But have trials, have combo challenges, have missions, have something to do offline so people can get warmed up and be like, alright, I'm cool, let's jump online. So, number 3, have a much better customization. Bring all the customization up the ass. Bring it all. Give me every customization, but pause. Bring me every customizational option they have. Throw it all in there. And number 4, DLC. DLC, bring in guest characters. Bring in DLC. I'll say probably number 5. They really want people to play it because it's been a doormat series. Make it free to play again. Because that's what exceeds their expectations. The game was free. You know how many players on PlayStation Plus have? Do you know how many PlayStation gamers have PlayStation Plus because it's mandatory? Make it free to play and just charge costumes. Charge DLC for extra characters. So, man, if you made this far, please make sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe, make sure that bell notification to notify every single time I upload. And I will see y'all in the next video. I'm still really trying to get my stuff set up. I know I missed the episode of My Dress Up Darling. I'm working on getting some King of Fighters and potential Street Fighter content for y'all. It's just been rough lately, so just bear with me. I got y'all. But I'm Juju Gamer. This is Juju's Anime Corner. See you all in the next video. Peace.